What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. I just want to show you guys today a quick little John boat to bass boat build that also includes an incredible duck blind. That's what the main point of this video is, to show you that you don't have to go out and buy a $300, $400, $500 duck blind, $1,000 if you really want to get wild. You can just do something super simple like this. Burlap, maybe a little bit of camo netting if you want it, and then some kind of pipe. I believe we just have some aluminum pipe here. You could use PVC, you could use some kind of steel pipe. We just went cheap as you can go without compromising the integrity of the boat. So let's get into it a little bit, and I'll show you the pros and cons to this little duck blind here. To start, one of the biggest cons is trolling motor. I use this more than I use the duck blind, so can't move this. So to take it up and down, you have to pull this up, and then the trolling motor will go all the way out, just like so, all the way down. And then once the trolling motor's like that, now we have access to the duck blind. And I'm gonna show you guys a little setup and, maybe tear down, but at least a setup. And then you guys will get a full understanding for what this is like. One con we have here is that this netting has got some kind of like reinforced stuff. It's a pro and a con. The con is that the reinforcing part is caught on all the bolts. Currently, I have bolts going through this duck blind, but I have a solution for it. And my solution, Harbor Freight, baby. Harbor Freight's actually really come in handy on projects like this. Some on this project, some on other projects. Basically, what I've got now is I've got these little lag bolts here. I think these are 1/4 inch lag bolts. And basically I'm just running them through the pipe so that they will stick to the boat. But instead, so I can do a quicker setup and tear down, I'm going to be using the nuts off the end of the lag bolts and some washers and things like that. They just get lost in the boat. I did take the boat out a few times last year. I unfortunately have not shot a bird out of this boat yet. If I can find some footage, I'll throw some footage in here. I did have some geese come in on me a few different times, but unfortunately I was duck hunting at the time and the geese were out of season. Pretty sad, but for a first season out of a boat on, public lakes that have multiple other people and lots of pressure, I think I'm figuring it out slowly but surely. I'm no expert by any means. I'm not filling limits, but I'm having a good time doing it. I'm learning a lot. So I'm excited to see what next year brings. We may make some modifications to the duck blind, but for now I figured I'd just show you guys what this looks like. So gonna do a little time lapse now of me setting it up and then tearing it down, and then you guys just let me know what you think. If you think it's too complicated, if you have any suggestions. Right now this boat is very versatile. You can hunt out of both sides. I'm not sure if I like that. I'm wondering if maybe I should make one side a little more rigid and the other side more flexible. That way I can get some more coverage over my head. Right now it's one of those X frames, but it's a little more complicated than that because it's got some flips and some flip downs for it. But I'm gonna set it up real quick. Time lapse, 3, 2, 1, go. And as you can already tell, it's going to be a little difficult to get in and out of the boat with the blind on here. It's not horrible when you're in the water. If you have waders on, you can get in from just about any angle, but as is, it's a little complicated, a little bit of a pain in the butt, but we're making it work. I'm gonna put that stuff down there. And then currently, what I have for driving is I have it bolted together here. So basically you just have to take this bolt out and then move it to the second hole, which is right here. Basically moving it from here to there, and then that way it will go from flat to at that X angle. So we can do that now. Now once you are inside, obviously there's a ton of this stuff you got to deal with, but I put this little metal bracket on the back side here. It's a little one piece. I'm gonna show you what that does. Basically that one piece bracket, or 1 inch bracket right there, will hold this thing straight so you can have all along here. And then I've got some string on here that, for whatever side you're hunting out of, when you go to shoot, the string will hold this in place. And then when you're ready to shoot, you just pop this down. and you're shooting out there. So it's pretty neat. I've got it on both sides. If I need more coverage, I can get more coverage. Like I said, the brackets are on both sides. So if I need to be real tight and hunkered down in here like so, I can be way down in here. Nobody's gonna see me. I tried to camouflage everything the best I can, and I'm gonna show you some from the outside. But it's a pretty cool blind. It doesn't get everything perfect, so I've got a couple extra sheets that I bring with me of just some kind of camo, burlap, whatever I take. And then that really will cover up the boat pretty good, especially if you blend it in with some reeds. That's what's nice about this stuff too, is that because there's so many holes in it, you can just slide some reeds down in there and you really can camouflage this boat really nicely. So I'll show you some more from the outside and a little bit more about this. Now obviously if I was on the water, I'd be covering up the motor a little bit better, but this is what it's going to look like. So you can see that this is about 1.5 foot gap through there. It's just enough that you can kind of get down in there, have your gun at the ready, and when you see birds, you can jump over. And basically it's about here. So if you really want to see over it, you kind of got to go like this, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I don't want it, you know, here where I'm sticking out above it. So now I just have to kind of do one of these and kind of just poke up a little bit. But I'm wearing full camouflage. My head's covered. My eyes are pretty much covered. I got paint on, you know, I'm the whole 9 yards. So really, you cannot see me in this blind. Now that you've seen the finished product, let's talk a little bit more about how we built this. And so there's 4 anchor points to this boat, just 4. And it's so subtle because when this thing is completely off the boat, you don't even know that it's here. I have 4 little U-bolts here. 4 of these little U-bolts, and then I've got a, you know, a quick attach clip through the middle, and that's it. This thing doesn't really move around. It stays pretty sturdy. I mean, you can see that. I'm giving her a pretty good jiggle there, and it's just moving just a touch. Things like this, the camo, all we do is we take some, you know, little clips like this, and we just clip this together there, and then you can't see down the middle. And again, it goes all the way over the front, over the trolling motor. And I've got extra burlap I take to cover up some of these, you know, hoses and the trolling motor a little bit better. But for now, this is what we're working with. I'm going to be replacing all of the bolts with those U-clamps. I got to drill these holes just a touch bigger. They're not big enough yet. And then, so this was just recycled, some recycled channel of some sort that we just ground down with a grinder, and then we, you know, drilled some holes in it and made our own stuff. So that was essentially free. The clips were like $5, and the biggest expense was the pipe, which was about $75, and then all this camo stuff was another $50 to $75. So I mean, we're a touch over $100 in this thing, which is pretty good considering it's custom. And like I've said before, you know, it's really nice because I can tie this guy up. I have them both locked right now just for the convenience of showing you the video. But when you're hunting, what I do is I lock one side so that it's not movable. It's completely locked. And then the other side I will tie with rope. And the tension from the rope won't let it go any farther. So when you see birds, you just flip it down and you can shoot. You can do it other ways. You can make a rest where it sits on the rest and then you flip it, but I found that the rope's the easiest. I don't have to buy more material. I've got rope around, so that's what I've done. And just from a distance, the burlap and the camo netting, I mean, this is as camouflage as it gets. You get some good wood or you get some reeds and you slide the reeds down in there, or you just hide back in the timber. It's a pretty good boat. And the nice thing, one reason I did the 2 flaps, so this extra flap on top rather than just the regular X design, is that if I did the X to be able to get this tight, I'm gonna lose a lot of room in here. Where this way, you can see all the room goes all the way out to the side here. I've got plenty of room in there to swing guns around, swing decoys, carry decoys. It's basically an open boat. And then also when I'm going, I try to cover up the deck as best as I can with, you know, camo clothes or burlap of some sort, because it is a little bright down in there. But you really can't complain. It's a really cheap design. It was really well executed in my opinion. And like I said, for $100, it's pretty good. And you know, I'm saying $150, but really that pipe was all scrapped. So, I mean, all I had to do was buy this camo netting because I had the burlap left over from some other hunting stuff. I had the pipe left over from some home DIY projects. So really, if you're around places and you can get some scrap conduit or something like that, do that. One reason we used aluminum rather than just your typical steel conduit is because this is just a small John boat. We can't afford any more weight on it than we already have. It's pretty slow when you get 3 guys in there, decoys, guns, ammo, etc. So we just tried to do aluminum. Probably doesn't cut that much weight out of there, but it is pretty convenient, just having a little bit less. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have more questions or comments, concerns, if you have any ideas, I was wondering, you know, I've been thinking about this, is that maybe next year we leave the X, we do something straight up here, we do a roof, and then we just eliminate this front one completely. Or maybe we make it a little bit shorter. Something that's a little more convenient to set up, a little faster to set up, and maybe a little more rigid in the back. Something that hides you from the backside. We're usually butted up against something that's pretty dense, pretty thick in the back, so you can't usually shoot one direction. That's just my preference. I don't like to be completely exposed, so I try to tuck back in as best I can. And even if I were to shoot backwards, most likely it's going to be into reeds or timber or something, and I'm just never going to find the bird. So I try to focus on one direction the best I can, and I've had really good luck that way. But I believe this is a 1-inch pipe, 1-inch just plain aluminum here, 1/4-inch bolts, which the 1/4-inch bolts are definitely a little small there, so that's why we're upgrading to the quick attach stuff as well. These bolts are definitely twisting up a little, but other than that, it's pretty good. 14-foot John boat. It is a 1436, so not the biggest John boat that they make, but it definitely gets the trick done. Got a little 9.9 horse on the back, which can get me to the spots pretty easily, depending on the legs. And then in the front, the trolling motor is a pain in the butt. It's always in the way, but when I'm trying to get in and out of that really shallow, nasty, sticky mud, it's key. Like, it is really big. Downside, again, another negative, it's really hard to pick up decoys in this thing. Mostly because when it lays flat, everything's sticking out about a foot past the boat. So it comes to here, and you can see the boat's here. So to reach all the way over, the boat starts to get a little bit wobbly. But for 3 guys, it's a little uncomfortable, but it gets the job done. For 2 guys, very comfortable, very enjoyable, and it makes for a great day on the water. I've done a lot of duck hunting from, you know, just in the mud, and it's not very fun. So it's nice to stay dry for once. And so if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. And suggestions, comments, concerns, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little duck hunting, duck blind, John boat series. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace, y'all.